Hi guys, Mark Dawes here once again, and you may have seen this, which has been posted on Facebook or on the news. It's the Guardian's report into the MMPR restraint techniques that are being used on children. And the headline said, "Approved restraint techniques can kill children, the Ministry of Justice have found." So there's your start for 10. I shouldn't laugh at, and I'm not laughing at the risk, I'm laughing at the stupidity of this system, because they've actually approved techniques that can kill children. I mean, how perverse is that? I mean, let me read you some of this, and I'll put a link to this below so you can go and read this for yourself, so you know I'm not making this stuff up. It says the Ministry of Justice is facing calls to scrap and rewrite the policy on restraining minors after it emerged that a report it commissioned, so its own report, found that some authorised techniques could kill children or leave them disabled. Astonishing. I mean, it says here, an internal risk assessment of restraint techniques obtained by the Guardian shows that certain procedures approved for use against non-compliant children carry a 40 or 60% chance of causing injuries involving the child's airways, breathing or circulation, the consequences of which could be catastrophic. And they go on to define catastrophic as injury, as death or permanent severe disability affecting everyday life in their approved system. Now, there's techniques they've got in here, like they're still using the figure of four leg hold. And those of you that have been on our conferences know that when Professor John Parks spoke about this, putting someone on the floor with a figure of four leg hold cuts the ability to breathe by 30%. But let's put that into context as well, because in his scientific trials, that is used on people in a clinical environment with no build up to that. So there's been no exhaustion, there's been no fatigue, there's been no violent struggle. There's just been people asked to lie on the floor, put legs in a figure four, apply pressure to them, and in those clinical trials, 30% reduction in lung function. And we're not doing it, but these fucking numpties are doing it after a restraint. It goes on. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff in here. It's tremendous. You've got to read it. Go to the link below and read this shit. It says head holes. They're using head holes. They're actually still taking the head down to an angle there and walking children in a head hold. Now, we haven't used a head hold for years, and there's a simple reason why. I mean, what risk technically does the head hold, and why are we bending people forward? Now, in other research done by John Parks, this is the stuff that we've implemented into our training, and our trainers have implemented into their training. We know that if you sit someone down and bend them forward at a particular angle, and obviously there's variables involved, but John Parks has measured the extreme of this to be an 80% reduction in lung function. So a seated bent forward restraint is actually more dangerous than a prone restraint with a rear figure four leg lock on it. But they're walking children after a violent struggle, bent forward, holding on to their head and their neck. I mean, I'm an ex-prison officer. We were doing this 15 years ago, for Christ's sake, and they're still doing the same thing. But this is the bit I like. This is why I'm laughing. Staff are trained in the use of MMPR by experts. My fucking ass. Let me tell you about these experts. There was a restraint advisory board that was set up, and the person that chaired that restraint advisory board then went on to chair the independent restraint advisory panel. And I was invited to go along to this panel with some colleagues of mine, because the chairman of this board and a few of their people who sat around them were interviewing training providers that use restraint techniques on children. And we picked up on a couple of things they said, which we challenged, and we challenged them because they were wrong. And they would not admit they were wrong. So we actually got a lawyer, and this was a lawyer who is way up the food chain, and we got him to write a letter to actually give us a legal opinion on the comments made. And his comments that he made, his response to what this chair of this expert freaking panel said, he said her comments were illegitimate and had no basis in law. And I have a copy of that letter. But these are the people who've come up with this astonishing set of techniques that can kill people, but that's okay, but it's approved. I mean, and if you can hear a dog barking, that's my dog going nuts upstairs. He's probably pissed off with this too. But the point I'm making in this video is people all the time are looking for approved and accredited training. You can get it here. You can get this approved and accredited training that will kill the people you're trying to restrain. And let's come back to a moot point. Why are we restraining people? Well, we're restraining them, hopefully, to stop damage, keep people safe, and not to kill them. Now, you can go back to 2000, a draft local authority circular that we still show people. This now is 16, nearly 17 years old, where it said that you should not use techniques which interfere with diaphragmatic movement and lung function, or any technique that interferes with the ability to breathe. Not rocket science. Experts should have picked that up. There's loads and loads of stuff out there that says you shouldn't do this stuff. I mean, you know, I've highlighted loads of stuff here. I mean, I'm going to leave it to you guys to read. But the point of this, okay, this is the real point of this. Whatever system, if you're a commissioning agency, whatever system of intervention or physical restraint or safe holding, whatever you want to call it, whatever system you choose to accept, with whatever accreditation it may or may not have, then you are liable for the system that you're implementing for your staff to use on your service users, patients, children, vulnerable people in your care, or whatever. Okay, not necessarily the numpties that wrote the system. Okay, bear that in mind. So don't go looking for the holy grail to think that someone's got something and it's absolutely, you know, it's not going to get you in trouble. Every system, carries risk. Every technique will carry risk when used in certain set of circumstances. What you've got to look for is the best system for you, which is why we've had so much legal input into our system. We have health and safety reviews, we have medical reviews, we take feedback from the people who use the system. We look at use of force reports to find out whether or not what's happening is what we're giving them is working, and the system changes. So the other thing to bear in mind is every system should change. It should evolve over time to be much, much better and more fit for purpose. There's a link below. There's a link below this video. You've got to read this stuff. Honest to God, I just can't believe that in 2016, nearly 2017. There are people, so-called experts, who are coming up with crap like this, which is basically old stuff, revamped. Really, it's old stuff repurposed, given a new name, and shoved out there. So don't use it. Okay, now guys, girls, as per normal, any comments, stick them below the video. I'll be delighted to hear back from you. And yes, I've read the comments underneath the Guardians thing, and I know there are some very, very violent children out there too, and there are people getting assaulted by violent children, and I'm not saying that these vulnerable children are not violent, therefore they shouldn't be restrained. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is use techniques that work, but which mitigate and reduce risk. Don't use techniques that increase risk, because it's a false economy. Okay, that's my little rant over. Please, comments below the video, guys, or below the blog post, wherever you are. Click on the link, read the full thing from the Guardian newspaper. It's definitely well worth a read, but take it on board. Make sure what you're teaching is fit for purpose. And commissioning agencies, you make sure what you buy is fit for purpose. So all this accreditation stuff, in a lot of cases, doesn't mean jack. It actually doesn't. And some of it's just self-accredited stuff. Doug Mealy, if you're listening, I'm pretty sure you want to have a rant on this. So, guys, there you go. Thanks ever so much. Speak to you soon.